How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for being here today. Kamusta na kayo mga kamarge? How are you guys doing? Hi, Alvin Roman Ban. If this is, we are now tuned in. This is a live telecast, although we are actually not in public. So it's not. This is not viewable on public. This is exclusively for March subscribers. So I hope everyone is tuned in, especially dun sa mga topics that we will be discussing today. This will be a great enhancement na we will apply sa ating mga Marge portfolio. We know that you have a lot of questions. We have been, it's been a while since the last time we talked to you specifically about Marge, and we know since there's a restriction in the questions that you can ask on public um, groups that we have, hindi natin yun ma-discuss. So we will be discussing it here. And marami tayong mga aabangan na mga na pakulo at the coming days and months. When we launched this, a few months ago, we said na it will be in continuous improvement. And we are keeping to what we said. And we are here today for everyone to, so we can give the latest about Marge. So we are, I'll be joined by our analyst later. But first, I want to talk to, let's see, tingnan natin yung mga, wala akong banner, no? Sige, habang iniintay natin ang ating mga, ang mga nasa Marge ngayon, I think there is a letter that we sent out just a while ago for the for the updates that we will be having. Hindi po yan yung buong update. Meron pang mga darating na updates that we will be discussing here online. So I hope that everyone is tuned in para walang magtatanong afterwards anong nangyari or kung may na-miss. Tama? Okay, so kausapin muna natin ang ating mga kaibigan dito. I hope you are safe, everyone. I mean, these are some important announcements. Pero at the same time, kwentuhan lang din tayo. How's your portfolio? Do you have questions about your portfolio sizing? Are you doing okay? If you are, ayan. Kung mga hindi pa po ako kilala, if this is your first time to see me on screen, I'm Sheena. I'm the one handling the marketing and online sales of Abaco Securities. And it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our live session today, Kamustahan with Marge. And na-miss nyo ba ako? Sabi ganun eh, no? I mean, na-miss ko kayo kasi na-miss ko kayo. I missed everyone. By the way, meron tayong pakulo while we're waiting for the rest. Marami tayo. So we know that we will be waiting for a few people. Baka may time difference lang or something. But while we do that, ito muna, meron akong tanong sa inyo. And I'll be I'll be sharing the PowerPoint. Wait lang. Alright. So, sa mga, nasa na ba yan? Yan. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ayan. Add natin. Ano ang nabili nyo sa last 6/6 sale? Sige nga, share nyo on the comment section below. Kung gusto mo pa shout out. Hi, Mary Ann Manlagnit. Oh, I miss you too. Hi, Alan. Good morning from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much. Ayan, tingnan natin kung anong mga nabudol sa inyo last 6/6, last June 6. Okay, sabi ni Eric Piros, diaper daw. Wow, congratulations kay Aiza. Wala siyang nabili nung June 6. Ayan. LAN cable. Oo, alam nyo ba na I just bought a LAN cable para sa aking phone? So, pwede ang phone malan and also yung laptop. Especially if you're doing online streaming, talagang very siya, handy. What? Ayan. Hindi effective. Wow, mga matitibay. Strong hands. hindi hindi effective, hindi siya natatalaban ng mga sale na 60% off na 'yan. Sino 6/6 sale, sa either sa mga online. Ayan, tignan natin ang iba pa. Gatas ni baby. Talaga ba nagse-sale ng malaki? Malaki ba talaga? Diaper. Ano pa ba isa? Graduate na ako dyan sa online shopping. I've learned to control. Wow! Sana all, Steve. Face mask. Ang face mask ay ang bagong, ano, medyas. Yan daw. Cat food. Ayan, mga cat person pala dito. Yeah, maraming bumibili ng diapers. Nakita ko yung mga flash sale. Actually, up to now, hindi ko alam yung difference ng flash sale sa 6/6 sale. Hindi ko alam. May nagpapanak-nak yata. Wala naman daw siyang essentials. Ano ba? Lugaw? Tess? Lugaw ba yung nabili mo? Ayan. Ayan. So, maraming nag-participate at marami lang di nabudol. Okay. And the next question is, habang inaantay natin ang iba ay, ayan, dahil sa nakaraan na IPO, can you tell me, habang tinatawag natin ang ating mga analyst dito sa screen, tell me ano bang favorite Mondenizen product mo? Sige nga, share it in the comment section below. Ano yung pag lumalaki ka, ito lagi yung naaalala mo na kasama? Ako, personally, Pancit Canton and Skyflakes. Ayan. Kasi, sabi nila yung, ayan, eggnog kay Fredgy. Fredgy Akurang. Oh, hi! Taga Davao ka ba, Fredgy? Hi, Jay Curiedo. Pancit Canton. Yan. Meron kaming gagawin na na segment. Antayin nyo, yung mga Pancit Canton stories. Ang dami niyan. Naantay lang namin. Ang breadsticks at eggnog, walang kamatayang Pancit Canton. Anong flavor ng Pancit Canton ang gustong-gusto nyo? Sa tingin nyo, ano yung pinakamasarap? Yeah, Fita. Sinong nakakaalala ng commercial na sports car, yung red? Yan, makikita yung mga age ng mga nang may alam na commercial na yan. Hindi ko yun alam, sinabi lang sa akin ni Google. Ayan. Skyflakes and Canton, si Marilu. Hello, Marilu. Jenna? Yan ni. Chili Mansi. Chili Mansi daw. Kalamansi. May battle Next time magpapa-vote ako sino yung mas sikat na Pancit Canton flavor. Tanungin natin itong mga kasama ko today, so papapasukin ko sila isa-isa and sasabihin nila sa akin kung ano yung Mondenizen product na favorite nila. Kainin. Hindi endorsement to Hindi, mamaya ma-misquote kami. Parang si Vico Soto kanina. Joke lang. Alright, sige, let's call on the first analyst, ang pinakabata. So by age, alam nyo na kung sino yung last. De, joke lang. Okay, first one. First one is, ito ay bagong gupit at mga pamilyang chinito. Ayan, I'll call on. Hi, Rainier. Kamusta? So, Rainier.
Hi, good afternoon, guys.
Anong favorite na Nissan product mo?
Ako, Pancit Canton na kalamansi.
Oh, kalamansi. Okay.
Ayoko yung chili mansi, masyado maanghang.
Hindi ka mahilig sa maanghang. May ibig sabihin daw yun, joke. Next, isa pang bagong gupit. Parang puyat siya ngayon, guys. Let me call on, galing pa to sa Germany, si Herman. Hi, Herman.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
So, Herman, anong product na ang favorite mo sa Mondenizen and kung anong favorite mong Pancit Canton flavor?
Ako, pinaka-binibili ko din yung Pancit Canton pero chili mansi sa akin.
Oh, parehas kayo Huwag kayong magtatago sa pantry niyan. Lang kakainin niyo. And then next is, ewan ko kung kumakain ito ng Pancit Canton. Yung susunod. Yung mga last na dalawa, parang, social itong dalawang to, baka hindi ko makain ng Pancit Canton. yung pangalawa naman is the only rose among the thorns. Let's call on. Hi, Beth. Ayan. Naka-mute pa si Bes. Let's unmute her. Ayan. Okay. Ayan, Bes. So, kumakain ka ba ng
Hello,
pancit
good
canton?
afternoon. Oo, kasi yun yung ayuda eh. Joke lang.
So, anong flavor, Bes, ng pancit canton ang gusto mo?
Kaso hindi ako ibang brand yung gusto ko eh. Gusto ko yung super spicy.
Yun. Extra hot. Ay, hindi. Baka Korean yung gusto ni Bes.
Korean.
Okay lang. Diba? Last but not the least, isang taong mahilig sa Skyflakes. Okay. So, may we call on our technical analyst. Hi, Isaiah. Ayan, naka-mute siya, guys. Ayan, ulit. Again.
Hello, good afternoon.
So, ano yung, kumakain ka ba niyan?
Ano?
Kumakain ka ba ng Mondonesian product? At pancit
Siguro yung
canton?
last time ako yung chili mansi.
Sige, pare-pareha silang chili mansi. Next time na bibili ako, I'll make sure na hindi chili mansi. Okay, so we will have, we will have few announcements. First is, dahil, ayan, meron tayong mga, sabi ni Tess, original daw yung kanya. Aiza A, Calamansi, number 1. Sabi naman ni Mac Sabile, extra hot. May mga, alam niyo yung ano daw ibig sabihin pag mahilig sa maanghang? Hindi ko na sasabihin. Baka may MTR.
Intolerance.
Yeah, pwede. Ayan. Sabi ni Wandering Soul, di ko na bet ang pancit canton now kasi mostly di na gaya ng dating. Exactly! Di ba nga nabago yung noodles niya? Nabago yung noodles nun eh. Dami ng endorsement. Baka naman. May interview kita sa touch base. Anyway, yun lang pala. Gusto lang palang magparinig. Okay, so we are here to give you some of the things that we need to enhance sa MARGe playlist natin. And I'm really excited for everyone to give the features that we will have. And then afterwards is we're gonna have our Q&A. Yan yung mga questions. I think a lot of you are already typing it. Mamaya ipa-flash namin yan isa-isa. We'll make sure that we will address that. If it's account specific related, we can have we can schedule you for if you need someone na kailangan ng assistance na solo na hindi pwedeng i-address to others, okay? Sige, let's see. So I'll share with you the screen again for the updates. Yeah. Okay. So first off, yan. Excited na ba kayo sa updates na bibigay natin? Actually, teka lang, hindi nyo ako makita. Napatakpan ako ng ban. Wait. Ayan, lipat natin. Ayan, okay. So these are some important updates. First is, okay, so these are the legends before, di ba? Ito yung mga legend na meron na tayo na existing. So we will have a bit of adjustment later, but it's not, hindi naman masyadong complicated, but it will enhance our buying strategy or our portfolio managing. Ayan. So first is, ano yung una is, what's that button? That's a play button that says buy. So it's either you're gonna add it to the playlist or kung meron ka na, bibili ka pa. All right. The existing one is also next. Ayan. So guys, in-impromptu ko itong mga hindi nila to nakita kanina. Ayan, yung next is, Bes, ikaw nga yung next na symbol.
Yung next is yung pause symbol. So, yung nasa playlist natin nakalagay yan, pause. Pero yung action na gagawin mo dyan is don't buy, don't sell, hold mo lang. Easy ka lang. So, parang wait lang for further updates.
Okay. Ala, nawala sila. Wait. Nangyari. Okay, game. Ayan. Next is, how about Herman for the other one? Okay, wait.
Remove?
Ayan, game. Yan.
Okay, sorry. Mute pala. Okay, so yung third option is to sell or remove. So this happens during rebalancing seasons. Kumbaga, pinapalitan natin yung ibang part ng playlist. And this usually happens thrice a year.
Yeah. So, rebalancing. Ito yung usually nangyayari yan kapag meron nang nire-release na bagong outlook si Sir Nicky, no? Ayan. So, ito na yung magiging adjustment natin. We have seen yung mga sentiments ng mga mostly ng March subscribers. We hear you. First and foremost, we want to tell you that we hear you. And we know na it's masarap din naman na ma-experience yung pag-akyat, na especially dun sa mga nauna, nakita nyo na umakyat at bumaba yung stocks ng nasa March. Tama? Kaya ngayon, we will bring you this another or two more symbols for you guys to make sure that you will maximize Marge. And that is, okay, we have two new legends, which are, first is take profits, and the other one is stop buying. Ano kaya yun? What do you think are the two symbols about? Okay, the first one, take profits. We know that there are cases na umaakyat ng biglaan. Sino yung mga stocks na biglang umakyat the past few days? Sige nga. At sino yung may mga hawak nun? Okay, kasi puro tayo Marge dito, so okay lang magbigay ng stocks. So it's safe. And you've seen, ano bang mga stocks yun? CNPF, that's what I remember. So yung mga cases na ganyan, meron kaming nilagay, which is take profits, wherein you will sell half and you will hold half. Why? Ganito yan. Sell half because we want you to experience to take in the profit na umakyat na yung stock mo. But this, take note of this, it will only be applicable if you have more than one board lot. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng hatiin kapag isa lang yung board lot mo. Diba? So if you have one board lot, it's up to you if you want to sell all or if you want to continue to hold. But we will not stop you if you want to sell it since maliit yung allotment mo. Alright? So given that, if you hold the last part, either way, meron kaming next recommendation dyan on the next. If you already sold half, on the next playlist, pag nakita mo pa ulit yung take profits and hindi ka na pwedeng mag-take profit, okay na yan, once ka lang mag-take profits. So once lang yan. Okay, next is yung stop buying. Best, you want to explain yung stop buying and hold? Yung difference? Ay,
Naka-mute, Gina.
Ayan.
Yan, okay na. So, if mapapansin nyo yung colors ng hold and stop buying, same sila yellow. Kasi essentially, yung action na gagawin mo dun sa my portfolio mo is basically hold siya. But it differs kung kanino siya mag-a-apply. So, yung pause, which is a hold recommendation, ito yung recommendation para sa mga wala pang stock na yun sa portfolio nila. Yung stop buying, ito naman yung hold recommendation para sa mga subscribers na meron ng exposure to that specific stock. So parang kaya natin siya nire-recommend to stop buying. Possible na kasi bumababa yung stock, pero we still think na yung price ng stock, pero we still think yung medium term to long term outlook niya is still positive. So it doesn't make sense to take it out of your portfolio, but we don't want you to be overexposed. So parang hinay muna sa pag-add sa positions nyo and try to look at the other play or buy recommendations. Kaya stop buying for that specific stock. I'm not clear. Kung may questions on kayo, ask nyo lang. Hindi ko alam kung clear na ba yun, Gina.
Gina, nakamute ka.
Yeah.
Yung bigay na bigay kang magsabi pero wala pala silang narinig. Okay. So dati, ang pause natin means na wag ka lang bibili, 'di ba? Wag kang bibili, wag mo hawakan, deadmahin mo lang, chill ka lang. Okay, this time we'll have two types of pause and one is pause and one is stop buying. Okay, so the first one, the one that was explained by Bess a while ago, pag naka-stop buying, kahit kunyari first time mo na makita yung stock na yon, wala kang option to buy, hindi ka talaga bibili at all. For the hold, if it's your first time to see that, if it's your first, wala ka pa sa portfolio mo, you can still buy once. Pero sa susunod na nakita mo siya on the next playlist na naka-pause pa rin, you cannot add anymore. Okay? So, dun sa stop buying, kahit pag nakita mo na wala sa portfolio mo, wag mo siyang galawin at all. Ayan. Meron kaming nakalakip, tama ba? We have included something or parameter there inside that that will also benefit you guys. So, yun ang yun ang balit dalawang legend na nadagdag sa ating playlist. Okay. So, if you encounter yes.
I just want to add na these are recommendations. It's still your portfolio. For example, doon sa may take profits na legend, kung gusto mo naman benta na lahat tapos gamitin mo na yung funds for something else, pwede mo naman gawin yun. We will not penalize you. But the recommendation is kaya namin sell half lang and then hold half. Kasi it's possible na gumalaw pa upwards yung stock. Sayang naman yung gain na miss out mo. Yun. So basically, these are recommendations. It's still up to you how you will use this in your own portfolio. Para lang may flexibility ka.
Sabi ni Linus Kamu. Okay, not clear. Okay, ganito Linus. Kunyari, merong CNPF, ano pa ba? RLC, DNL. Okay, kunyari sa DNL, naka-hold. Pero yung portfolio mo, wala pang DNL. When you open your playlist for the month and nakita mo na naka-pause si DNL, at wala ka pang DNL, you can buy DNL since wala ka pang ipopause kasi wala pang naka-play. Okay? Ngayon, if you see that DNL is stop, naka-square, ibig sabihin, wag mo talaga siyang galawin at all. For example naman, you already have DNL and you open your playlist for the month at nakita mo na hold si DNL, no, don't add anymore kasi meron ka nang naka-play. So that means that you're on pause. Same thing with stop buying or the square, hindi mo rin siya dadagdagan. So meaning to say, ano't ano man, wala sa portfolio mo o wala, si stop buying or si square, wag mo talaga siyang gagalawin. Don't do anything about it. But if you see pause, you can only pause something if you are currently playing it, tama? So, if you don't have it currently and nakita mo nakapause, you can buy once. But if you see it on the next at nakita mo nakapause pa rin, hindi mo na siya pwedeng i-play kasi pinos mo na nga siya that day. Tama? Okay na, Linus? Is it clear now? So while we're doing some of the what we'll do is we'll have a scenario that we will be sending you para clear kung paano siya i-apply. Okay ba 'yon? But if you have questions now at hindi pa masyadong clear, let us know. I'll be making a sample portfolio para by the end of this, okay na. May reply or may replay? Yes, Wonton. You can drag actually, kahit ngayon, I think, pwede mo siyang i-drag yung red na line para masimulan mo siya sa simula. Ayan. Ayan, clear na daw. This will be effective on the next playlist date, which is July. So, July. Ayan, nag-fast track na ako. Ayan, next is, so okay na tayo. So those are the new legends, take profits, and stop buying. Next.
Mag-add lang ako, Gina.
Sige,
kasi
sure.
May nagtanong kung next month pa daw ba siya effective. Kasi, I think napansin niya na si CNPF yan, umaakyat. Meron kaming sinet na thresholds for yung bagong bagong legend, kaya namin siya inad kasi lumalapit na siya doon, pero hindi pa niya nahi-hit actually. Ang yung take profits naman na recommendation, hindi siya isa-send siya agad kapag ma-hit na yung threshold, hindi siya on a monthly basis. So once umabot siya sa may threshold na we deemed na appropriate to take profits na, mag-send siya agad on that day na ma-hit yung level na yun. So hindi ka pa maghihintay ng 1 month before ka pwedeng before namin siya i-recommend na mag-sell half, hold half.
Ayan, tama. I think some of you came from the letter that we just sent a while ago. As we are on live right now, meron kaming sinend na letter for one of the important updates that we have for MARGe. And that's why yung iba ngayon lang naka-tune in. We will be discussing next ano pa yon? Next slide pa. Okay, so yung next slide will be...
But si Tess,
Sige.
pwede mo naman siya i-sell kung gusto mo na. It's still your portfolio nga. It's
question, okay. We'll entertain questions with regards to the legends alone. Sige, okay. Let's do it. Ano po ang mga bagay na mape-penalize po? Okay. In the past, those that bought outside the playlist, yan yung mga pwedeng i-penalize. Ayan, kasi it's because we're not following the one that we set in the playlist, and what we have is a MARGe portfolio. Yan. Next is okay. Gerald Del Pilar, controlled mo naman ang buy and sell. Basta follow the playlist, but the advice are there to guide you. Aral na aral nila yan for long term. Nox. Thanks, Gerald. You're so sweet. Yeah, thanks. Yes, the analysts have already been have computed that fundamentally, and this is not trading. That's why it's really important na wag tayong mainip, because it's a journey of 3 to 5 years, and ilang months pa lang tayo sa ating journey. And actually, nasasad nga ako sa mga hindi nakapag-antay. Good things happen to those who wait, ika nga. Okay. Suggest ko lang if mas okay ang term na don't buy. Oh, okay. Sige, lagay natin don't buy.
Instead
Or
of
stop buying. Instead of stop buying.
Stop buying, don't buy.
Ano ba sa mga nandito ngayon, is it ano yung tingin niyo na mas clear? Ano yung mas clear sa inyo? Don't buy or stop buying?
Okay. For me, rinig ba?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, ang stop buying, ang implication niya kasi is buy siya dati. So, and then we just stop buying. Whereas yung don't buy, parang meron siyang implication na hindi talaga recommended yung stock in the first place. So I think though parang excuse me po. So though parang magkapareho sila ng gustong sabihin, parang magkaiba sila ng implication.
Oo, pag don't buy dito yun eh. Ay. Hindi man ako analyst, pero ako mag-comment. Okay, next. What if pala take profit legend ang stocks, pero gusto mo ma-sell? Take profit ang legend, pero gusto mo ma-sell half. Okay lang po ba 'yon or mape-penalize ako? No. In terms of acting upon the recommendation, as long as you are acting within the stocks that's on the playlist, we will not penalize you because it's liberty mo yon. Again, take profits means sell half, but this is only applicable if you have more than one board lot. Remember that you can sell by board lot, and you can only sell once. So kunyari nag-take profit ka na, that once lang yung take profit mo. On the next pag take profit pa rin siya, if meron pang half, sige, sell mo yung half, it's up to you. But normally, the recommendation is sell half of the what you have initially. Yan. So, hindi kayo mape-penalize. If you want to sell early, go ahead, sell early. Even before we told you that you have the liberty to take profits if you feel to. But yun nga, sabi nga, as mentioned a while ago, these are their recommendation of the research. Based doon sa, and remember when we launched this, we said that as yung kung anong mas malapit doon sa recommendation at naging obedient ka doon, most likely maging optimal yung returns. Okay, Love TV. Ano ba ito channel? Pwede bang sabay ma-convert to regular at stock transfer? I don't know what you mean. Okay. Mamaya, mukhang next ba yan na segment. Sorry. Pabalikan kita, Love TV. What if minimum lang yung stocks sa CNPF? Pwede ko kaya i-sell half? Yun nga, di ka nakikinig. Pwede ka lang mag-sell half if it's more than one board lot. Pero if it's one board lot, we understand that may mga na isa lang board lot, you have the liberty to sell all or to hold it. It's up to you. Pero yun nga, recommended lang siya to more than one. You can only apply it to more than one. Kasi lugi ka na sa odd lot. Iba na kasi yung price ng bid and ask sa odd lot. So that's what you have to know. Hindi po clear sa akin ang mga bagay na mape-penalize ako. Ayan. Okay. So, actually, on the coming month, meron tayong cleansing na mangyayari. It will be, don't worry, because hindi na rin, parang irrelevant na rin yung penalize kasi may ginawa na kami for you, na easier for you, para hindi na rin kayo malito kung ano ba yung mape-penalize or not. Ayan. Later, you'll know. Wala akong na-receive na letter. Okay, if you don't receive the letter, please PM our page right now. Kasi most likely, we have clients na mali pala yung email for the longest time wala silang nare-receive or nasa spam. So, let us know if you did not receive anything. Make sure that you go to our page and message us that you didn't receive the letter. I think it's being sent as we speak. Baka hindi pa lang dumadating doon sa, hindi pa lang dumadating dyan na traffic. Rainier. Ay, Rainier, ikaw pala to eh. Ikaw pala ikaw talaga. Another one, si Ahay. Alisin muna natin yung, aliitan muna natin. Remove muna natin yan. Si Ahay, what if i-sell ko yung na-buy ko na stock na wala sa playlist para wala lang maging regular account? MARGe ko. Pwede ba yan? Later, malalaman mo. Malalaman mo mamaya. Sige, meron pa rin hindi clear ang hold at stop. Or ito ba ay late na? Hold at stop buying. Okay. Pasimplihan pa natin. Isang level pa. Kung meron kang portfolio at wala sa listahan mo, pag nakita mong naka-hold, big sabihin, wala ka pang i-hold. Pwede mo bang i-hold ang hangin? Hindi, diba? Hindi mo pa pwedeng i-play ang hindi pwedeng i-hold ang hindi naka-play. So, kung wala ka pa nun at naka-hold or naka-pause, pwede kang bumili that particular month. Okay, for stop buying, whether or not nasa portfolio mo or wala, don't touch it. So, don't touch it. Baka mas okay na don't touch it. Don't touch it for that month. Now, on the following month, basta meron ka na nung particular stock na yon at naka-hold, hold na. Hindi pa rin. Okay na ba? Gets na ba? Tell me if you need a scenario. It's important kasi nandito kayo ngayon eh. I mean, may nagre-request nga na sana monthly. We will check what are the things that we can add. Pero meron kaming mga in-add for this particular event na moving forward we will do. Sige, meron pa ba, Bes, ikaw, can you take the floor muna? I'll put a scenario lang dun sa, for the questions.
Dun sa may, I just want to clarify kasi medyo naguluhan din ako sa may last na sinabi mo, Sheena, about yung difference ng hold and stop. Basically, same recommendation siya, don't buy, don't sell, hold siya. But it's parang geared siya towards different types of MARGe subscribers. Yung pause or hold, pero pause actually yung term niya, it's for those na looking to buy something to put into their portfolio. So, kunyari, di ba meron tayong mga naka-recommend na play to buy, tapos wala pang laman at all yung portfolio mo. Na-exhaust mo na yung exposure mo to those na mga naka-play. So, meron ka pang cash, so hanap ka pa ng next na pwede mo ilagay. Huwag mong pipiliin yung naka-pause, kasi naka-pause na siya. Meanwhile, yung stop, para sa mga may laman na yung portfolio. So, usually yung stop recommendation, this will apply to stocks na bumababa yung price, but yung outlook namin for that is still positive. So nangyayari, nag-average down ka if you keep buying. But it comes to a point na sa pag-average down mo, sobrang lumalaki yung exposure mo to that one stock. So may sinat kaming threshold na aabot kapag sobrang parang on an average subscriber, kapag umabot na sa ganung drop in price from the first time you recommended it, hindi na advisable to add to your positions kasi nga super exposed ka na. Kaya stop buying. But not necessarily because may something negative about that stock. It's just probably yung sentiment ng market, but on long-term view namin is still on a positive. Kaya yung mga wala pang hawak nun, pwede pa siyang magbumili.
Ayan, gets na ba? Sige, Bes, pag ano ka lang na question, sige.
Yung sabi ni Steve Arc, paki-flash. Yan, tama yan. Sabi ni Steve Arc, hold, pwede bumili once pag stop, pwedeng bumili once pag walang hawak. Pause, huwag na bumili. May ma-add ba kayo, guys? Clear ba pag-explain ko? Yung mga questions about yung pag-penalize, I think this will be discussed in another section later. Kasi iba naman yung criteria for bakit nagkakaroon ng penalty, which is hindi naman talaga penalty if you're a dedicated MARGe subscriber. Parang magiging penalty lang siya if hindi ka sumusunod sa may list. May question si Alan Ventura. Ma'am, after take profit, do we need to wait by signal again sa monthly playlist? Or if the stock starts to show, wala. Yung take profit na recommendation, this kasi will be sent out in between, most likely in between playlists. Kasi parang once na hit nga yung threshold na sinet namin. So, tama yun, you need to wait for a buy signal again to add to your position. Most likely, the next, diba, we're in the middle of a cycle ngayon kasi kakasend lang ng list earlier this month. Tapos kapag, kunyari na-hit ng isang stock like CNPF or ICT, yung threshold na sinet namin, magkasend kami ng take profit alert even before the next playlist. Tapos, most likely, sa next playlist in July, kapag hindi nagbago yung outlook namin for those stocks, most likely, hindi na siya naka-buy, hindi na siya naka-play, naka-pause na siya. So, you wait for the next buy signal if you want to buy that specific stock again. But remember, marami tayong nasa list na pwedeng i-add sa portfolio nyo na naka-play, naka-buy. So, you can focus on that. And, iwanan mo muna yung half na hinold mo nung nag-take profit recommendation.
Sige, habang nag-add ako ng scenario for the next topic, can you answer some of the questions? Flash na lang natin, guys. Medyo madami naman eh. For those na na-offend sa giggles ko daw, giggles too much, nakaka-toxic. Sorry naman. Lungkot mo naman. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Next question. Ayan. Ayaw ko ng regular account. Ang MARGe ko, especially wala akong time mag-monitor from time to time ang charting ko dahil sa nature of work ko. So, may question ba siya? Ito. Minsan po kasi may mga stock name halos same. Nakakalito. May stock name na halos same. Okay, nakakalito. Like me, as newbie po, ako familiar sa mga stock name. Kaya buy ako ng one sa playlist ko, ayaw ko na siyang maging regular account. Okay. So, I think si Ahay is just giving us sentiment. Kaya mas okay din if you are not that confident pa and sobrang bago mo, it's really good na may MARGe ka. So, just follow yung stock code. Kaya nilalagay namin doon yung stock code na para diretso ka na type. Ayan.
May question earlier about SEB CP. Parang natabunan na siya. Mahanap na.
Sige, let's look for it.
Ayun si
Guys,
Linus.
if you have access to the questions, pa-post lang.
Anyway, yung question ni Linus is about the SEB CP, nakalagay na po kasi sa June playlist. Pag mag-buy po kami ngayon, automatic ba na convertible siya at 38 pesos kahit 40 pesos siya nabili today? Rainer, do you want to take that?
Okay. Yung sa CP, just to clarify, hindi siya mako-convert automatically unless you want it to be converted. In the case that you don't want to convert it and you just want to sell it as Israel, like a normal stock, you buy it at 40, you sell it at 49, yun yung profits mo na 9 pesos. Pero yung once you convert it, mas complicated siya ng konti. So, in the example that you gave, your cost is, let's say, 40. Pero, yun nga, yung cost mo is 40. Let's say you want it to be converted to, kasi kunwari, yung SEB common shares is priced now at 50. Yung conversion rate niya is still at 38. So, bali 38, merong 12 pesos per share na profit. Pero yung cost mo kasi is mas malaki than 38. So, mababawasan yung profit mo talaga is based on the cost na 40 pesos, hindi yung 38. Kasi nabili mo siya ng 40 pesos. Tapos you also have to take into account pag magko-convert ka prior to the 6 years, mayroong 1,300 plus na conversion fee. So just take into account that fees in case you're trying to calculate for your profits. Hope that clarifies. If not, you can just follow up. Thank you.
May question din si Natalie. New button pink, and buy button. How can you reconcile these buttons po? I cannot buy those stocks in Pink Legend. Yung pink button, ito yung take profits na recommendation. It doesn't necessarily mean you cannot buy, but we don't recommend buying kasi nga take profits na eh. So you sell half and hold the rest. It's completely different from the buy button na green. Sagot ko ba yung tanong? Not sure. Can I sell my CNPF stock? Si Jessica Agacer. Naka-hold siya pero gain na kasi na malaki, sayang naman, hehe. Ito yung sasabi namin na you are free to do with what we want in your portfolio. These are recommendations. So if okay na sa'yo yung gain na nakuha mo from CNPF, you want to sell, you can do that. We will not, since nasa list naman siya, we will not penalize you. Yung kaya lang namin siya hindi pa so far nire-recommend to take profits kasi we want you to maximize the gains on all the stocks na nasa playlist. So parang may possibility pa na or meron pang konting room for increase yung price within a certain time frame. Kaya siguro naiinip ka na. But if you want, you can sell it naman.
Ayan, sige. Meron pa tayong mga questions. Let's just keep this for that particular session ng buy hold, it's really important that we have it. Ito, suggestion. Let's see when suggestion lang po, hindi pa nabanggit. Baka pwedeng i-integrate na lang sa mobile app yung playlist kung ano po yung mga stocks na kasama, saka may button na kung play, stop, hold, pause. Medyo advanced pero magandang suggestion. Let's see what we can do. Thank you for that suggestion. For now, meron tayo, I think, applicable dun sa next nating slide. We'll see. Meron pa tayong question sa hold, stop, pause, take profits?
Siguro okay. As a general guide lang for our MARGe subscribers, when it comes to buying or selling or kung ano man yung gusto nyong action doon sa MARGe, sa mga stocks na kasama sa MARGe playlist, you can do that. You have the freedom to do so, but still we encourage na to stick to the recommendations ng playlist. Ang pinaka dinediscourage lang talaga namin is to buy stocks na hindi included dun sa playlist. Ayun yung highly discouraged namin from the team na ayun to buy stocks or to include stocks na outside of the playlist. So ayun yung highly discouraged. But when it comes to, let's say, isang stock na kasama sa playlist, let's say lang si RLC, hindi pa siya nakasell pero gusto mo nang i-sell, you can do that. You have the freedom to do so. Pero yan, ang encourage pa din namin is to stick to the recommendations ng playlist.
Sige, may questions pa? Na nakikita kayo, I'm ready for the next one na. Meron pa bang na-address? So, are you guys already okay. Sige, isingit lang natin to sandali. Yung baka matabunan lang. Okay, si Shushmito 121692. Sino gusto sumagot?
Yes.
Sell na, but sell half
Take
only.
profit.
Take profits means sell half, hold half. Wait for the next recommendation.
Yan. And then there are those who are asking na, next na tayo. Okay, next na tayo. So let me share it again. We can still ask questions later about those topics. We'll just rewind it siguro dun sa ano na yan. Okay. Ayan. So next is starting the month of July. Isaiah. Wait. Yeah, okay. Next.
Starting month of July, MARGe will be monogamous. Kung si MARGe lang.
Yeah, huwag daw tayong polygamous. Okay, ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag si MARGe lang, yun nga, para hindi na maiwasan na natin yung mga penalty na yan, we have already adjusted the portfolio of MARGe. Kung ano lang yung nasa MARGe playlist, yun lang yung makikita ng MARGe portfolio natin. So, sinabi nga ni Isaiah, si MARGe lang. So, to identify that category, we already have a profile na it will only be accessible to the stocks that is included in the MARGe playlist since inception. And then probably we will we will do it like in a yearly basis yung pag-check if talagang old hindi na bumalik sa playlist. We will once in a while clean it up, but for now, since it's inception, those are the stocks that will only be applicable or accessible to your MARGe portfolio or MARGe product. Ngayon, yung number 2, syempre, but may closure dapat doon sa mga sa mga existing na polygamous na portfolio. So paano natin gagawin 'yon? So here's what we should do. Yan. Next, you can read. Sino mag-read? Rainier? What are the things? Ayan. Sorry yung tumawa ulit ako.
Para may closure sa mga open na portfolio, here's what you should do. Number one, sell. Next, transfer to your trading account, and then convert to a regular account and open a regular account.
And those are the options that you can do if you have an existing stock na wala sa playlist. So we will not be that strict because magkakaroon naman tayo ng adjustment. So what we will do is you have the option to first sell na lang yung existing. If you have a trading account or a regular account, you can transfer it to the client code of your regular account. If you don't have, you have the option to open a regular account so you can transfer it. And another one, actually, we don't recommend or we discourage yung number three. But if you don't have an option, other option of adding another account, sayang kasi if you're not gonna get this, especially at this time where the market is malapit. Once na kasi nag-take off a market, those will benefit. So sayang, sana wag kang mawala kay Marge, wag mo siyang bitawan. And that number two is transfer. Yung transfer mo, yun, pwede kang mag-transfer, pwede kang mag-convert, or pwede kang mag-add ng regular account. So we want to let you know that meron din naman kayong perks. If you have a regular account, you can avail of the IPOs, SROs, and REITs. If you have not, if you don't know yet, Abacus has an investment house, which means that yung nakikita nating trading participant allocation, whenever there's an IPO, hindi kami, I mean, meron kaming additional na kukuha because we have an investment house. So hindi lahat ng brokerage meron yan, and you may want to avail of that. Also, you can perform short-term plays. So pwede mong i-diversify ang strategy mo if you want to, follow the short takes as it is, and you want to have like a short-term play, you want to follow short yung what do you call it, the super timer of Sir Lawrence every week, and also the charts na pinopost na Isaiah weekly basis. If you want to know more of that, and also the upcoming tool that you will have for short-term and long-term trades and buying, ayan, you can also make use of that. So those are the perks of having a regular account. It's best to have both kasi talaga, if you want to learn yung mga short-term plays, short-term trading, you can perform that in a regular account. Huwag natin gawing trading account si Marge. Ayan. Marami kasi akong nakita na ginagawang trading, filtering si Marge na stocks. So let's have another avenue for that. So in terms of market psychology, hindi ka malilito which ones that you should be using. Ayan. So with that, I think we can now go on with the Q&A. Libre lang daw tumawa. Ayan. So we will remove this. Ayan. Okay. So now, for the questions that we have, ito na, yung inaantay natin. Si Love TV, kanina yung question mo about selling. Yes, you may sell. Yung kung meron ka man na account with, na hindi, I mean, na stock na hindi kasama sa playlist, you may add that. And you can I mean, you may sell that na para you can avail of the MARGe playlist kasi dumadami na yung nasa playlist, diba? It's more than 10 already, and you may want to take advantage. Marami na tayong choices. Always be reminded to choose different industries. Napaka-importante nun because that's diversification. Okay, sige, let's have some of the questions. Okay, thank you sa mga nagko-comment na good vibes ang tao. Hindi ako move on. Okay, anyway. Di ba minimum 10K yung balance? Paano po pag, example, yung hawak mo bumaba ang value? Yes, we consider that, so don't worry. It's also, tatandaan din natin, when you have this type of retirement fund, kasi diba, this is a retirement fund of yours, dapat dinadagdagan nyo din yan once in a while. So, but we are considerate of those na bumababa yung portfolio, as long as you're not withdrawing the fund. Meron tayo namang ganyan. We consider that as well. Okay, sino pa ang may questions? Si Jay Corredo, nasagot na ba natin to? Pwede po ba na unrealized gain sa port namin ilagay yung tax and com para alam namin yung gain or loss yung port namin? Okay. I think this will be applicable for the regular account. We are doing some enhancement on the platform itself. So for now, what we will cater more of is yung particularly kay Marge kasi those are the things that they cannot ask sa regular na groups kasi nga 'di ba we don't we limit that. And if you guys want to have this type of online thing every once in a while, let us know. Okay, another thing that we will add, hindi pala namin add dito sa aming slide, is we will have a newsletter or meron kaming additional letter that will guide you, hindi lang pag may playlist. So there will be a letter that will guide you, motivate you in your portfolio para malaman nyo na maraming pare-parehas na nag-aantay ng breakthrough ng kanilang mga portfolio. Remember, this is not a trading account. So, as makulit as we are, being human as we are, 'di ba? Minsan meron kang weakness, na weak hands ka. 'Yon. We will make sure na ma-motivate kayo ng aming mga, and then if there are highlights na pwede namin i-reiterate sa stocks that were mentioned by the analyst on the past few reports, we will also include that there. Yan. Ilang beses nga yun, Best? Once, twice, no? So there will be a playlist time, and then there will be a newsletter time.
Yeah, there will be a playlist at the start of the month, and then second week and last week of the month, we will be releasing March newsletter. Yun nga, yung laman niya will be parang summary of insights on the stocks na nasa playlist and yung motivation from motivating you to keep to the recommendations.
Keep on going. Yan, yung Marge newsletter. And it's a love letter apart from the playlist that we send you. CEB, ito. This was sent kailan lang, last playlist, diba? Si Rainier po yung mag-explain sa inyo. CEBCP ba is part of MARGe? Okay. Sige, go ahead, Rainier.
It is our new inclusion for SEBCP. We would like to emphasize we prefer to hold SEBCP at the moment, especially that we are seeing the tourism industry is particularly is kind of on a standstill, being hit by the pandemic. We like SEBCP kasi apart from it having the conversion upside from its price to SEB common shares, makakuha rin kayo ng dividend yield based on the price na nakuha nyo. Pero if nakuha nyo siya ng 38 pesos, the dividend yield will always be at 6%.
Yung dividend would be at 38 pesos. 6% of 38 pesos.
Yes, 6%
regardless of how
38
much
pesos.
you bought SEBCP. So kahit 40 plus mo siya nabili, yung dividend yield mo na 6 pesos is still based on 38.
Yes. Pero looking
Yield
at
na
the
6%,
price now,
not 6 pesos.
6%.
Yes, 6%. Pero looking at the price now, I think it's around 46 or 47. I think yung dividend yield niya is nasa close to 5% pa rin. So it's pretty attractive pa rin at this point. But we also set our recommendations sa MARGe.
If you also notice, yung SEB is also in the MARGe playlist. But for the latest playlist, naka-pause na siya kasi nga we prefer SEBCP if you want to be exposed to the airline industry or tourism industry. Kaya pinost mo na si SEB and naka-play ngayon si SEBCP. It's para rin sa may mga hawak ng SEB, hawak na ng SEB, hindi masyadong lumaki yung exposure nila on that one company kasi kung pareho silang naka-buy. Tama?
Yeah. Next
But we also left a
question.
note. We also left a note for SEBCP na Between the two, we would like for you guys to only limit exposure to one stock. So either SEB or SEB CP lang sana.
That's right. Okay. Next. Okay.
Next
So next question. Oh, thank you, Mary Ann. Sabi ni Mary Ann, very good investment talaga, Marge. Kahit ipit sa regular portfolio, green pa rin si Marge, may gain pa rin. Wow. Okay. So let me, this is a perfect timing din because maybe you have a portfolio na hindi ka na timingan nung magandang start mo and then negative din si Marge sa'yo. Don't be disheartened kasi remember that you have your own timing. Iba-iba ng timing yung start ng Marge portfolios nyo. And if you notice, pwede kang nag-start dun when the market was high and when it was nag-rebound siya. And it might be ano sa inyo na you have negative, how come others have positive? Remember that out of the 12 stocks, pwede kang mamili and it will be based on your budget kung ano yung stock na pipiliin mo. So, very important that you also have, kunyari, namili ka ng dalawa na stocks and then parehas negative and parang ayaw mo muna yung dalawa na yon, you can add another stock dun sa next mo pag nag-add ka na ng fund mo. That's why it's really important that you also you can also apply cost averaging here, but you will not be stuck in cost averaging. So just make sure that if kilala mo yung sarili mo eh. If you are investing or trading, it's really important that you know yourself. And if you know that it will not motivate you to see na puro negative yung nasa portfolio mo, add another stock that probably can have, can retain yung confidence mo sa market. But make sure that your time frame, it's like, you have to imagine that this is a long road. And we are still on the first part and we're not even reaching the first quarter of our journey in this March journey. So, malayo pa yung biyahe natin. If you see na parang medyo mabagal ka, it's okay lang. What you know is you will go and you will end the destination. Yun dapat ang ating tatandaan. Alright? Sabi ni Richie, matagal na akong hindi active account ko. Matagal. Okay, as long as you have yung BP na minimum or if you have deposited yung original na requirement namin and then the market goes down, I don't think that we will that it's gonna be suspended naman. But you make sure that once na if ever it's gonna be suspended or you cannot access it, the moment that you can or okay ka na, since hindi mo pa naman gagamitin, just let us know, message us so we can reinstate or revive or reopen your account. The whatever you have in there stays there. It's not gonna be touched. It remains there. So ganun lang. You can still have it checked from time to time. Okay, next question. So, given again, what are the important things that you have to remember bago tayo mag-continue ng Q&A? Since we have the first week of July, July 9 will be the next playlist. It's very important that you will be able to correct those portfolio na kailangang i-correct because of the deadline. Why? Because this is very important because the moment na mag-activate na yung profiling na tinatawag, you won't be able to sell what you have on the portfolio. So, because meron na ng profiling, the system won't anymore recognize that. So, very important that you have to correct. And that's why we told you what you should do if you have stocks na hindi kasama sa MARGe playlist. Kasi in the first place, dapat wala siya doon. Tama? And then, instead of penalizing you guys, we just want you to correct what is wrong with the portfolio that you have. Again, we're being hindi naman namin na ipe-penalize just as long as you correct it. But yun nga, yung system na mismo, yung magpe-penalize sa atin pag hindi natin kinorek ang ating mga pagkakamali. Ay, wala. Kasi nga, hindi na allow ng system na i-buy. Hindi na yun, it will be automatic. Ayan. Okay, Marisol, regarding, question po, any buy or sell of stocks that are in the original playlist will not push through?
That are not
Okay.
in the March playlist.
Will not push through. Paano kung, nilakihan ko na yung screen ko leak. Paano kung gusto ko lang i-sell yung ibang stock para makabay ng bago sa March? As mentioned, you have to do either of the things here. I'll flash it again para makita mo yung mga options that you can do. First is you can sell. Kung ayaw mong i-sell, transfer it to a regular portfolio. Pag wala ka pang regular portfolio sa MyTrade, you can open an account. Regular portfolio. Same na lang din naman yung it's still same at ease naman. Kung paano ka nag-open ng MARGe account mo, it's gonna be the same thing. So madali na lang din. And
So
you don't have
from-
to send email.
So
Sige, Beth, go ahead.
from our announcement today na we will be implementing this para profiling or review of March subscribers up to July 9, that's yun yung you have for 5 weeks to rectify your portfolio by either selling those stocks and then transferring yung funds from your proceeds to the stocks na nasa March playlist as you wrote sa may question mo, or you can open a regular account, transfer those non-playlist stocks there, or you can convert your March account to a regular account, or ano yung isa pa? Ano yung last? Ano yung number 4?
Yung last is, ayan, open a regular account. If wala pa siya. Bago ka mag-transfer,
Ayun,
syempre
if
dapat
wala ka
may
pang
regular account.
open, yeah. So you have ilang weeks? 5 weeks to do these things, to choose which ones gagawin mo dito para ma-clean mo yung March portfolio mo.
Yes. In our
Kasi
letter,
by
we are...
July 9,
Go ahead.
by July 9, you will not be able to access those stocks that are not in the playlist. Kaya we encourage you to either open or transfer to your trading account kasi dun mo siya gagawin sa my trading account. Dun mo siya gagalawin.
Okay, just to remind subscribers, itong naka-flash screen, yung 1, 2, at saka 4, kapag yan yung ginawa natin, we will still be able to retain our March membership. Pero pag sa 3, if we convert our March account to a regular account, hindi na tayo makakatanggap ng playlist. So mawawala na yung March membership natin.
Ayan, sabi ni Aiza, can we do a monthly kamustahan? We'll talk about it, we'll check the schedule. Masarap naman kayong kausap. So, I think let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Of course, we wanna guide you, we wanna talk to you more often than possible. Sige, we'll see. And then we will let you know. So make sure that you are up to date doon sa newsletter, sa announcements namin. For the newsletter, as mentioned kanina, the one that by Best, na ito yung mga highlights, the highlights of different stocks na na-mention during our short takes report. If there's something that we need to update you guys, and also some motivational stuff that we want to share with you. Yan. Mm-hmm.
Can a regular account be converted to a March account? Can it?
No. So if you want to open open ka na lang ng MARGe account. Kasi ang rule namin kay regular account, wala pa dapat nabibili na anything. If that's the case, you can. Pero pag nakabili ka na ng something and you have used it for trading, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-convert. Sige, let's see. Okay. Pwede ba tayo mag-outlook? for Meg and East West?
Okay. Sige, for Meg muna. Okay, so for Meg, just to start off, ang naka-underweight tayo sa property sector. So, kasi we think it is a sector that will recover. It is one of the sectors that will recover the last when we return to pre-pandemic levels, because the effect of the pandemic on, especially on the malls, are still lingering. But still, we chose to include MEC in our playlist because it is trading way below its net asset value. So we see that value can be realized there. But ayan, we need to remind our clients, our MARGe subscribers, that we need to be patient with this stock and with the other property stocks, because the road to recovery may be long and winding. But yeah, so the outlook is still the
Kanta
outlook
ka.
is still the outlook is still is still
Baka
positive in the long
ma-toxic sila
term,
sa'yo.
but it's still it's still ayan, the outlook is still positive, but it requires patience. And I think bagay din naman siya sa March kasi 5 years naman yung investment horizon natin sa March. So, and be patient lang sa MEC.
Yeah, for East West, I think March subscribers also have access to the daily short takes report naman. And in the recent one, we discussed that East West is one of those rare stocks that are projected to have parang continuous na earnings growth from 2019, earnings growth in 2020, earnings growth in 2021 projection. So that means yung outlook for East West's financial performance is still positive. That's why we still recommend buy or play for East West. I think yung naging sentiment lang for the banking sector this pandemic, especially lately, kasi lumalabas na yung non-performing loans ratios ng banks. These are the bad debts, yung mga hindi nakakapagbayad na borrowers nila. Tumataas yung non-performing loans ratio, not just for the sector but for specific banks as well. So dun medyo naging negative yung sentiment. But for the long-term view, which we have for MARGe, once the economy starts recovering, probably 2022 or maybe at the worst case scenario 2023, the banking sector is one of the first to be able that will be able to take advantage of that. So, and East West is very evaluation niya sa market sobrang baba compared to its earnings ratios and its book value ratios. So medyo cheaper yung pag-value ng market sa kanya, so it's a good time to position for that. But also, reminder lang sa March, we have three banks in the playlist, and we also recommend that you don't overexpose your portfolio to one industry. So when adding to your positions, be mindful lang kung ilan na percentage ng portfolio mo ay not just on one company but also to the sector.
Nakamute ka, Chino.
Okay, let's see more questions. Okay lang po ba, kunwari, bibili po ako ng stocks from my playlist kahit June na. Minsan po kasi nakakalimot or busy masyado. Yes.
But
Go ahead.
not from the May playlist. You follow the latest playlist, sa June playlist, yung sundan mo. Once we send out the latest one, parang scrap na yung last one. Kasi nagbago na yung price levels niya, nagbago na yung outlook for those stocks na nasa list. So kung bibili ka ngayon, base your decisions on the June list.
Yeah, good thing that you pointed that out, Beth. So just make sure okay lang yan kasi it is MARGe is designed for those na talagang hindi laging nasa market. So it's really important na you know the latest one. So, yun. Yan. Baka meron din daw bang TA questions? Nagtatanong sila. If you want to, pero hindi to pang Marge, hindi yun pang Marge ha. If meron kayong, pag medyo nangangati kayong tanungin about the technical outlook, since nandito naman si Isaiah, check lang natin kung kung pwede. Okay, from Ron Vergara, Ronnie or Ron? Can you add which sectors are underweight and overweight sa MARGe? Okay. Merong magandang question about allocation eh. Later, sige, let's answer muna yung overweight and underweight. I think kasi hindi nag-a-apply yung overweight and underweight kay MARGe. If correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it has to be ideally equal weight for every. Kunyari, may budget ka of kunyari 20,000 ang budget mo and you want to allocate. It's ideal that you allocate 5,000 pantay-pantay. So if ganon, so 4 stocks yun. Or you can allocate 4,000 pesos for 5 stocks. So it's really important that na equal yung weight because we don't, since pinasimple nga natin yung MARGe, there's hindi nag-apply dito yung overweight and underweight. As long as it's on play, you can buy it. Pero ideally, dapat yung allocation mo applied equally. Tama ba, Beth?
I think you're talking about yung
sector?
Yung allocation ng subscriber on different sectors. But I think what he's asking is which sectors are
okay.
overweight or underweight. So parang kung tama yung intindi ko, yung example is we are overweight on banking sector. That's why medyo comparatively maraming banks in the playlist. Meanwhile, we are underweight on property. So isa lang yung property stock na nasa playlist. Kasi parang isa lang yung, although we are not as positive on the property sector, there are parang may selective issues lang na we think will provide value over the long term, as Herman mentioned earlier. Tama? Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Sige. Pero you don't have to think about this. Anuhin mo lang. I mean, follow mo lang. We don't, as much as possible, we don't want to complicate yung MARGe. So that's why, yun nga, kung possible lang, as simple as please don't dwell on one sector alone. So, especially kapag halimbawa may 3 ka lang na stocks, eksakto na pag dalawa na yung ginawa mo na pare-pare sector, sobrang focus ka na sa sector na yun. Especially dun sa mga maliliit yung allocation. Yes, Herman?
Okay, dagdag ko lang. Actually, when you see a pause or hold recommendation sa MARGe, it will give you an idea na parang ayaw na namin na magdagdag yung client ng stock na yun. So that gives you an idea na medyo underweight na tayo sa stock na yun. So, it's okay.
For the sake of discussion, ayan. Actually, yun. So, sige, maganda naman yan. Parang nag-a-advance na sila ng this is one way of saying that it's underweight when we ask you guys to pause or stop buying that particular stock. So instead na sabihin namin na underweight on this particular sector or stock, sinasabi na lang namin na pause and stop. It's one of the things na we simplified for you. Okay, so from Noni, maaari po bang sundin yung TP price sa Shortix sa MARGe playlist? Again, it's up to you. When do you sell when you're happy. But we will follow because in the target prices that we mentioned on our Shortix, meron pa kaming parameters dyan. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's gonna be the same. Since nga si MARGe is exclusive and it's a special strategy, it's not directly na yun na yun. Meron pa kaming, may ginagawa kami dyan. And ginagawa sila dyan, sila pala, hindi pala ako. So you can if you're happy na with that. But our recommendation as is lang. Anything you can add, guys? Knowledge on. Good afternoon. Is there a tool in our Abacus platform that shows percentage of exposure per stock on our portfolio? I saw this when I asked a statement of account. I say meron ba? Parang wala. I think yung report ng SOA, pero not on the platform. Hindi pa, wala pa nun. I'm not sure. May napansin ba kayo? Wala, I think wala pa. Hindi pa siya existing. Tama. Pero sa SOA, meron. Sa statement of account na monthly yung nare-receive, there's a percentage there. What can you, paano nyo ma-advise sa kanila on how to, parang, yung allocation, yung percentage of allocation? May simple way ba of computing yung mga allocation para ma-sure nila na pantay-pantay? Say, for example, sa 20,000, sa 15,000, yung di-divide nyo lang, no? Sa even number, tama ba? Paano ba yung best, what do you think yung simplest way of them na, to do that, yung allocation? I think may nagtanong din ng allocation eh.
I think naka-indicate naman dun sa may MARGe presentation. Sorry. Naka-indicate naman sa may MARGe presentation which sectors those stocks belong to. So pwede kang mag-compute kapag mag-a-add ka na sa list.
Ganyan talaga, guys. Meron kami, nandito si Dr. Strange eh. Go lang, best.
pwede ka mag-compute, mag-add funds ka sa account mo. Pwede ka mag-compute. Sorry.
Okay, pwede ka kasi meron, ituloy mo nga, Herman, habang tumatawa si Beth. Ayusin lang na yun.
Oo na, medyo na-distract din ako sa gumagalaw na background ni Beth.
Ang sinasabi nila ay, sige, okay na ba si Beth? I-fix muna.
Naka-indicate sa may presentation kung anong industries naka-classify yung mga stocks na nasa playlist. So, pwede mong, kapag mamimili ka ng stock, titignan mo na agad kung aling industry siya. Tapos check mo yung mga laman na ng portfolio mo kung ilang percent na yung naka-allocate doon. Tapos, kung yung gagamitin mong funds is dinagdag mo, add mo lang sa may total equity value mo, yung funds na dineposit mo. Tapos, para i-maintain mo lang yung same percentage na ideally equal, di ba? Pero kung sinasabi na kunya overweight on banks or underweight on property, kung meron kang preferred na allocation, i-maintain mo lang yung na-set mo na beforehand na ganun. Hindi ko alam kung na-explain ko na thoroughly enough.
I think okay, naman. Guys, let us know. And also, for those na hindi na-mention yung question nyo, please repost it. Baka na-overlook lang namin. We want to answer as much as more questions as possible. So let us please repost it para makita namin yung questions, ha? Okay. So si Isaiah naman pabasa. Isaiah, pabasa nga, knowledge on. Ito na ba yun? Hindi. Ito na. Okay na. Ito na. Ito na yung this one. Mamimili lang ako ng questions. Read the question.
If hindi po agad nakabili after release ng playlist, mga ilang percent increase from price po na okay pa bumili? Wala yata tayong rule na ganun.
Nakamit ka, China.
Target.
Ayan. I think what's best is if, for example, nagkaroon ng mga 10% or 5 to 10% increase, What do you think, guys? Ano ba yung gauge? Kasi, nga, I think may nangyari na ganito and then we had parang we had to send yung not twice and then may mga stock na gumalaw for that month as that day and then normally we post it na nagsignificantly na tumaas. But I think in general, as long as it's on play, pag hindi naman ganun ka-significant na 20% yung inakyat, most likely okay pa yon. What do you think, guys?
You can also gauge it through yung, di ba meron dun sa may playlist, may column na nakalagay yung upside. So if when you bought the stock, yung increase niya versus nung ni-release yung playlist is lumampas na sa may upside na naka-indicate sa column. That's possible na hindi na okay bumili at that price point. But so far, hindi ba ata nangyayari yun?
Yeah. And I think if there's a significant if there's a significant movement sa market, we will probably send it on that day pag really pag medyo significant yung up ng most likely kasi may change of story diyan and and most likely talaga na we will update you on that one. So but then if it's just a movement na kasi pwede naman din mag-correct yung market on a particular day within that month na send yung MARGe. Those are the things din na pwede natin na i-consider. So maybe if it goes up at that particular day, tingnan natin the next day kung mag-correct or dire-diretso. Eto na si Bes, bumabalik na siya sa portal.
And then papasok kaya tayo kaya tayo nag-add nung sa legend nung take take profit or take profit na recommendation. This will be sent out in between playlists. So if it happens, if may biglang nag-shoot up na stock sa playlist at umabot siya sa may threshold that we set, mag-send naman kami ng parang alert in between playlists na take profit na. That means hindi na your recommendation is no longer to buy. It's to sell half or to hold. So hindi na siya buy at that point.
Yan. Next is tawa. Beso, niloloko niya. Next is, ang dami pong nagtanong kung pwede po bang magbigay ng price recommendation or price range ng mga may buy button or play button sa playlist. We'll take note. Take note namin to since this is live. Pa-take note na lang, guys. We'll screenshot this so mapag-usapan namin when we have the revalidation of yung parameters, things to improve. Good thing you mentioned that. Sige, Telja, we will check on that. We'll make sure na it's gonna be part of our next check-in. Yeah. Okay. Next. Sige. Thanks, Herman. Pwede po ba, sabi ni Jen, pwede po ba sa mga naka-buy signal, may price recommendation magandang bumili? Price reco, I think the fact na naka-buy na siya, again, we don't want to complicate your playlist. So as long as it's buy, bili ka lang.
Actually,
we don't want you to overthink. Pero we'll check. Sige pa. Madami pang questions eh. Linus suggestion may on MARGe projected realized gain support and alok. Sige, we'll take note. Tingnan lang natin what are the features that are doable. Pag naman kaya, why not? Okay. Next is from Paolo Concepcion. Sige, Herman, you read it.
Okay, from Paolo Concepcion, pwede pa rin ba bumili ng stock at any time of the month? For instance, nagka-budget lang ako 15 days later ng release ng playlist. Is it still advisable or may particular time kung kailan lang pwede mag-buy? I think pwede pa rin bumili, so wala namang harm doon. And then you can also siguro monitor, let's say nilabas namin yung playlist ng gantong araw, and then let's say 30% yung upside niya, let's say more than 30%. And then after 15 days, nagka-budget ka pero umakyat na yung stock ng mga 10%, so you can probably estimate na roughly mga 20% pa yung upside ng stock. So sa mga ganong instances, yeah, we can still estimate yung upside naman, so it's still advisable to buy. So wala namang problema.
Same with the question of Rona, yung may sinusunod po bang allocation, as long as it's different sectors, and then pantay-pantay, okay na yun. Dami ko nababasa na nagkakamali sila na sell. Yun pala negative po pala realized percentage nila, 1 to 2% range lang. Okay. I think it doesn't apply sa MARGe kasi the fact na we're just asking you to buy and this is not in trading. But I get your point in terms of the projected, the realized gains and losses. Again, this is part of the pipeline that we have for improvements. We want to make sure na we maximize the questions for MARGe since nga hindi to matatanong outside. Yan. What will happen after to MARGe after 5 years? We'll check what again continuous improvement. We will check what the market is if it's still doable. If you will notice some of the funds, the mga mutual funds has been there for so long. And the CAGR that we've shown you is a 20-year CAGR. At kung natatandaan nyo, it's 18 years. 5 years is really small relatively. I mean, short relatively. So we'll continue to improve on that system. But then what we want to let you know lang is that the 3 to 5 years is the optimal time that you have to be in there. Pero nga, dahil this is a retirement fund for you guys, best to make it na just to stay the fund and keep it growing. Pa-accept. Ayan. Sige, we'll follow up dun sa nag-a-approve ng MARGe group. Thanks, Blanco. Outlook for pure gold po, please. Is it ano? Paano yun? Okay lang ba? Best? Si Rainier ba to?
Yeah, actually Rainier covers that, but we also identified P Gold as one of those stocks that is still projected to have earnings growth over even compared to pre-pandemic levels. So we are still buy on P Gold as parang as a play on the expected recovery of consumer stocks after demand comes back after the vaccinations have been fully rolled out. So if you also notice, it's trading at very cheaply compared to its 10-year mean. So it's also a good time to position for as a economic recovery play.
Yeah. All right. So next is ayan. Can you read it, Isaiah? The question now?
GB1 1997. Okay lang po ba kung kunwari bibili po ako ng stocks from May?
Yan yung
Tapos na to.
Kay NetVV. Ask lang, before my sell signal at ang AGI, pag-release ng playlist, most sell did the day after negative selling. But after a week, umakyat. Sayang gain sana. Pwede ba lagyan price yung sell, like short takes target price?
Um, we as a reminder lang ulit is yung goal kasi ng MARGe is not for trading, it's for long-term investing. And when we recommended Agi, to sell Agi, this was in reference din dun sa meaning nakapag-realize ka na, when we recommended to sell it, nakapag-realize ka na ng gains. Kasi when it was still a buy, mababa pa yung price niya. Tama ba? Gets mo yung pag-explain ko. So, we hope na hindi kayo masyadong napapa-affect sa yung FOMO nung iba yung direction ng stock than kahit sinel recommendation namin. Because kaya rin namin siya na-recommend to sell kasi we think that there are other stocks that present possible higher upside than what Agi was presenting at that time.
This is part of the rebalancing, no? When we have it ng sinel natin to. Actually, if you notice, we don't have a stop loss. Pero we have rebalancing. So, if it's after a particular period of time na hindi na talaga siya beneficial dun sa next playlist, that's why we rebalance it on that particular time. Pero I think yung mga it's one out of how many. So these are the things that you also have to consider. And as well as if you feel like selling some, kaya kami nag-add ng take profits for us to take advantage of the upside kapag na hit yung price up pataas. That's why this is one of the improvements para ma-realize mo yung some of your gains. Next is kay Kenda. How about po yung na-offer na MARGe na preferred shares, need po ba sila i-sell since wala siya sa playlist? Which preferred? Si EBCP? Let us know, Kenda, kung ito ay si EBCP kasi if that's the case, it's already in the playlist. And since it's a result of having CEB stock, kaya ka merong CEBCP, it's not gonna be deactivated. Just in case na hindi man namin inad yun, for example. But that is the result of you having a particular stock na included sa playlist. We will not penalize or we will not deactivate that particular stock on your portfolio. Part yun ng play. Local alien, maganda yan magbigay ng alert. Can you, are you giving a comment or suggestion? To which one? Let us know. May AGI po ako from Blessed Michael T. May AGI po ako at nag-instruct si MARGe na sell. Kaso until now, hindi ko pa din siya nabenta. Considered pa rin po ba siya sa non-playlist? Ayan. So, that's why if as mentioned a while ago, since inception, kung na-add namin siya on the playlist, we will still have it. Kasi we know for a fact that there are people na hindi nakapag-sell when we ask some of the stocks to be sold. Kaya as a form of part of yung adjustment, kapag na-recommend na namin si particular stock na yan sa MARGe, it will be included in the MARGe profiling kahit wala na siya sa playlist. Yan. So, okay. Again, let's see. Next is, huwag muna tayong kumuha ng mga bangkong tanong habang nasa kabilang portal pa si Beth. Okay. Okay, Kenya, how about yung offer ni MARGe na preferred? So we answer that. Sige. MARGE is for long term naman po. For me, just follow the playlist. Ayan. As the price did not drastically went up. Ayan. Thank you. We actually appreciate those na talagang we growing from the start. Wala silang kaalam-alam sa market, but then they're starting to sabi ni Ed, nag-teleport na siya. Okay, by the way, for those who are looking for Rainier, he has to attend one of the briefings. Kaya he exit na. yeah, then exit na. But for those the questions that being covered by Rainier, such as ano ba yun? CBCT, sila Bes and Herman ang bahala doon. Sorry, that, let's have, wala namang pikon dito, kinain ng si Beth. Hindi naman. Babalik din siya. Nasa ano lang, ano yun? Kay Shider. Ano yung kay Shider? Not a question, but a suggestion. Alright, Sinli. They should be a buy below price to prevent subscribers from buying when there is a significant price increase. As mentioned a while ago, it's part of the playlist to have yung stop buying or yung stop that is better than buy below price. The pause is also what you want to happen in the buy below price is actually we have the same purpose as why we have pause and why we have stop. So we don't want to we alam niyo naman na proprietary yung reason why, but encompassing na yon doon sa reason that we have mentioned. Best kinuha daw ni Dr.
I'm back.
Oh, she's back.
Naubos lang yung battery na headset.
Yan, I put more allocation, mas malaki pa upside. Alright, so another thing, ako personal tip ko to don't also choose lahat na may mataas na upside. Laruin mo din, piliin mo din. Basta, so, ako, if meron ka din dapat na, kung lalo na kapag gusto mo gumagalaw yung stock, when you choose, wag yung lahat na above 40%. Minsan, laruin mo din yung iba, above 20%, above 10%. Laruin mo rin siya. It's part of also you to diversify. Para rin, kung naman talagang ikaw yung tipo na pagkabili mo, pikit, okay lang yun. Palakihan ng upside. Sige, si Kenya.
Okay,
yan yung sinabi natin kanina. Okay. Sige, out of curiosity po, namomonitor po ba ng Abos yung total gain and losses ng lahat ng MARGe account in general on per stock? Yes, we have that. We have that file na yun yung what is the performance of each stock from the time. Syempre it's part of part of the monitoring. Kasama yun. That's why we have yung file sa back end para malaman namin kung kailan to ni-recommend and what was the performance of the stock. Yun. Isa yun sa part na tinitest natin over time.
Doon actually naka-base yung top buying recommendation.
Pampaano lang ng mood. Pati ako natatawa. Nalala ko reporting sa school dati. Natatawa. Hindi ko na-get. Wait.
Ayun yung sa bumagsak yung background ni Bes.
Yung Manila paper.
Yeah.
Okay, sige. And then, daming haters.
May question about dividends. Sige, yan muna.
Ano to? Sige, ito muna. I'll look for the one about dividend.
Ano po advantage ng MARGe to other competitors like mutual funds, etc.? Okay. Who wants to answer?
Yung biggest advantage ng MARGe is yung mutual funds kasi usually this has a management fee that the mutual fund charges dun sa may value ng shares mo dun sa may fund, regardless of whether the fund is earning or not, or your return mo is positive or negative. They always charge that fee when they compute for the net asset value. So sa MARGe, since this is medyo DIY portfolio, DIY, ang only charges that we have for MARGe is yung normal na buying and selling commissions and taxes. So very minimal yung fees with MARGe, tapos invested ka pa on the equities market like mutual funds.
Yeah. So if you notice, I think we discussed this during the time that we launched it. We when we launch Marge, one of the advantages nga is that you don't have to pay for the top load, front load, and yung mga it's a lesser cost compared to the fund management fees that you have. Okay. Okay. Ito, interesting question. Why won't PSE go back to 3:30 closing? Actually, it's part of the pandemic din eh. Yung operations ng PSE is para hindi ano, they cut it para yung mga tao makauwi ng maaga. It's because of the ongoing pandemic pa din. As far as going back to 3:30, we don't know. We haven't heard from who's this from PSE yet kung ano yung magiging stand if it becomes normal na. Hindi pa rin natin alam. Hindi pa napag-uusapan, I think. Do you guys have any news from PSE about it? As far as I know, sa akin wala. Okay. Next is from Renz. Pwede po bang mag-transfer ng funds from regular account to Marge account? Yes, as long as you maintain the maintaining balance of your both accounts, you can transfer naman. Especially if you don't have something to buy on a short-term play, and mag-keep ka lang nung as long as you have kung meron ka namang more than enough funds to both, yes, you can transfer. What you do is you send an email request to funds@mytrade.com.ph, and once you have the email, make sure that you specify from what portfolio to what portfolio. So again, it's funds@mytrade.com.ph. Yeah. So make sure that you specify saan manggagaling yung funds, and then saan din pupunta yung client code. And then it will follow the same guidelines or cut off na nandun sa ating funding guidelines. Ay, di siya teka lang. Funds at MyTrade. Ayan. So, and funds@mytrade.com.ph. So if you want to put an allocation doon sa inyong Marge account, go ahead, do so. You can do that. Okay. Will Marge add more stocks in the future? Sige, go ahead. You guys answer. Ay, nakamute. Wait, sorry, Bes. Ayan, go ahead.
Yan. Whether our Marge will add or take or reduce the number of stocks in the future is dependent still on your recommendations ng research. It's based on what you read on short takes naman. Meron lang kaming sinet na parameters on what actions yung subscribers will take because of the nature of what Marge is for. Pero yung kung ano yung stocks na i-add or to take away from the list is still based on our regular recommendations, general research recommendations. So, of course, may pwedeng madagdagan, pwedeng mabawasan based on what stocks we think will give you good gains.
That's right. Okay. Si Alas Trader. I think madalas ko to makita. Will there be a limit on the number of stocks?
Number of stocks na ano?
Na I think na nasa playlist. Is that
Nasa
right?
playlist.
Let us know if yun nga siya.
Number of stocks na nasa playlist.
Yeah, we're actually looking into that. It's just medyo peculiar lang kasi yung situation in the past year kasi sobrang bumagsak yung market, and there are some stocks that are very appealing because of the very low valuation. So we don't want you to miss out on, since long-term man yung view ni Marge, we don't want you to miss out on the possible gains after this pandemic has passed, which it will eventually naman. Kaya rin dumami yung laman ng playlist from yung initial namin na in-idealize as a portfolio na 10 lang. Diba? So we adjust then based on what the climate is.
I think that's a good suggestion or point which we can discuss within the team.
Okay, another good point. Isaiah, can you read it again?
What about rates po? Is Marge adding rates?
Okay. There's a good reason why we have not yet included REITs dun sa MARGe playlist. Because it's either a combination of several reasons. First is we don't see the if for those who are not aware, REITs are mostly dividend plays. So one of the reasons we don't include the current REITs in the playlist is that one, we are not satisfied with the dividend yield. Kumbaga, hindi siya attractive enough. And then second, kahit attractive yung dividend yield, hindi kami comfortable sa tenant mix. So for example, we think na a majority of the tenants have a high risk of pre-terminating or kumbaga i-kakat na nila yung contract nila dun sa landlord. So that poses a lot of risk dun sa cash flow na makukuha ng REIT company, which will have a negative effect din dun sa dividends na ibibigay niya. So those are mostly the most important things that we look at sa REITs, yung dividend yield at saka yung tenant mix. So if ever hindi kami comfortable dun sa dalawang yon, we don't include them sa MARGe playlist.
So would you say na yung non-inclusion ng REIT so far is company specific and not necessarily on the instrument?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not, we don't hate REITs in general. We're just not comfortable yet with the current REITs in the market. So sa mga darating na REITs, we'll still look at them individually. So we're not naman removing the possibility of including REITs moving forward.
Okay, good. I think that's a good point. My question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question also. How about dollar denominated? Will there be a
Dollar
possibility? Or the volume is low to even include it? Kasi di ba, remember, we have the parameters and one of which is liquidity. Baka,
Yeah,
so
liquidity
just for
is
the
a
sake of the
factor,
curious ones, yeah.
but I'm not sure if it's also a limitation of the platform.
Yeah.
Kasi I'm sure not everyone has access to dollar accounts. So it's going to be complicated for the subscribers. So on a case-to-case basis na lang siguro siya.
Yeah, actually, yung sa dollar denominated, yung SEB-CP, it's actually previously dollar denominated. And then I don't know, maybe the company felt that a lot of interested clients won't be able to subscribe because of its nature, dahil nga dollar denominated siya, so dapat may dollar bank account yung client. So that's why kinonvert siya into a peso denominated preferred stock. So ayan, may mga limitations na maraming limitations kapag dollar denominated yung security.
Okay. So another thing from there's a question. Natalie Irene Velasquez. I bought stocks from all three banks because they were in the play button from previous playlist. However, it was mentioned a while ago to check the sector. How may we reconcile this po? If you're the type, I think you can add guys, but you can when you add your funds, kung ayaw mong mag-sell, if it's a negative, kunyari ayaw mong mag-sell in terms of rebalancing, you can add, when you add the funds, you can just stop buying it. Just add another stock para you don't need to sell it. Another thing, you read and you watch the primer kasi it was mentioned also in the primer to make sure that you diversify in terms of sector. Para it's part of it. So I think it's really important to read the primer, especially for those na nagsa-start pa lang. Yan. Anything to add?
Yeah, I think this was also touched upon earlier when we were talking about allocation. No? since you mentioned that you already have those 3 banks, it's a good idea to look at other stocks na may naka-play pa, but nasa ibang sectors, so you're not overexposed to banks. That's how you reconcile it. That's why they also check the sector when you're looking to buy more stocks or to put more stocks into your portfolio.
Yan. Okay, next question. Yeah, Isaiah, can you read the next one?
From Jens. Say may mga nasa portfolio pero matagal na di nakabili or nakapag-deposit ng TP, the dormant ba yung account?
I think as long as hindi pa siya below yung minimum na 10K, yung total equity value mo, meaning yung value ng stocks mo and your cash in your account, kahit hindi mo siya galawin yung portfolio mo for a few months. As long as hindi siya below yung 10K minimum, hindi ka naman masa-suspend. Tama ba, Gina?
Yes.
I think nakamute ka.
As long as you have the...
Nakamute ka.
Ayan. Nakamute ka. Meron na? Wait, kasi nawala ng battery yung audio ko. I'll adjust. Okay. Alam ko na bakit. Wait, hold on.
Merong question dito dun sa mga MARGe subs na may violation until the deadline. Will they be informed before the disabling of stocks? Baka lang may iba na nag-violate pa din nang di nila alam. Pwede naman siguro mag-send on an individual basis yung mga after the deadline. We'll look into that kung ano yung magiging action to
Actually,
towards
lahat
those na...
Sige, go.
Sige.
Bes. So, yung mga merong violation, apparently, you will be receiving an email that you have to correct it. Siguro might as well check your stocks if and then check the port. Pero those who has na hindi nagkaroon ng violation sa portfolio nila, we'll just check if we can send yung particular portfolios na yon, so you know that you have or you need to rectify or correct your portfolio. We'll check on it but kasi baka mamaya hindi nga nila alam. But the fact that in the coming days, we have already sent yung letter. Maybe you can check your port and then the playlist that was last sent. Kung wala dun, most likely kailangan nyo siyang i-rectify. Actually, ganun lang naman. We can make it as simple as that. But if you know that you have bought it from the list but it's not already on the list, that one will not be penalized naman. And you will still be able to sell it in time na kailangan nyo na siyang i-sell. The minimum, the maintaining nga is 5K, not 10K for the MARGe accounts. So that's your minimum. And we also consider yung pagbaba ng market.
I think yung 5K is total, hindi siya per stock.
Yeah, total. Hindi siya per stock,
Kasi may
total.
question.
So cash plus your current stock position. Okay. Tom, do you think MARGe may include stocks just recently publicly offered anytime soon?
You mean IPOs when they list?
Yeah.
Or
Baka
yung
makakalist
recently
lang.
listed stocks. If it's,
Mm-mm.
yun nga, if it fits yung upside threshold that we are looking at that's appropriate for MARGe, and also if yung outlook niya is positive, if we think the pricing of the IPO is also advantageous for investors, it's possible. Hindi naman siya impossible.
Walang imposible. Char.
Siguro
I mean,
one example yung SEDCP. Recently publicly offered lang siya pero sinama natin sa MARGe. So, case to case basis.
I think there was a question on telcos.
Comments in the comments.
Hanapan natin yung telco question. Yun, sino yun? Ito ba yun? Si Carlo. There is no telcos in the
Yes.
MARGe playlist. Does it mean telcos are either risky, has reached target price, or has low upside?
Actually, for Carlo Wancho Fontanilla, nasakto mo naman yung mga reasons. Those are really the reasons kung bakit hindi siya included. It's either risky, malapit sa TP, or low upside. So, yeah, nasakto mo naman.
How about this question? Ito. Clarification po doon sa dormancy. You mean po yung 10K na balance or 10K value per stock na natitira?
Yun yung minention ko kanina. It's not per stock. It's actually 5K pala, hindi 10K kasi special siya for MARGe subscribers. So, 5K total. So, kung ano man yung cash mo plus yung lahat ng
Stock
stock,
position.
value ng stock positions mo. As long as it's minimum 5K. Hindi siya madodormant.
Other questions?
There was also a question on AGI, si ZP. December playlist play pa siya, but January sell na. Bakit po siya hindi nag-hold muna bago nag-sell? Ganun po ba pag-rebalancing? Yes, ganun pag-rebalancing. I think we changed the recommendation kasi nag-iba yung outlook namin for AGI. Usually, if there's an update on the company, on the fundamentals of the company, we review that periodically din. So, ito yung mga instances na medyo drastic yung change yung recommendation. Kaya rin, we're giving it, kaya rin siya useful to look at the latest playlist and no longer look at the ones that was sent out before the latest one kasi things change in the market, so we have to take that into account.
Okay.
Kaya rin we also added nga yung new buttons, new legend, siguro to lessen din yung whiplash.
Other question. Can I buy the recommended playlist at the end of every month?
But you can.
Parang
But-
gusto niyo maghintay end of month?
We send kasi the playlist at the start of the month. So if you can wait for, depende rin kasi kung gaano ka katutok sa market. If hindi ka talaga makaka-access sa market anytime from that end, anytime after that end of the month, it's better to buy or sell or do your actions on your portfolio when you are able to. Kasi nga, we designed MARGe for those na hindi everyday nakaka-check. Kaya rin, yung recommendations namin is for the long term. So, you can, but if you are able to move it closer to when we send out the playlist, that's more ideal. But we designed it nga na you can do the action anytime during that month. If mag-open ng regular account from Janil Cantos, may maintaining balance din po bang kailangan? Yes, yun yung 10K, I think. Kasi yung sa MARGe subscribers, yun yung special for MARGe subscribers, 5K lang yung maintaining. And Sheena is back. Yay.
Hello, I'm back. Ano yun? Maintaining. Yeah.
Ang dami kasi mga suggestions on what can be seen in the platform and what we can customize a platform. I think we can take note of that for future upgrades ba if we can.
Yeah. You can just check that and if it's doable or not. For the next question, si Michael Ray Kamangyan, may potential po bang makapasok sa playlist ang ASEN? Sino nagka-cover nun?
Me.
Present.
Okay. Michael Ray Kamangyan. Okay. If you've been reading our short takes on the stock, I think you can see na hindi kami we find the stock very expensive na actually our target price. Napansin ko din na umaakyat yung stock every time na may disclosure siya na may inacquire na ganitong plant or nag-increase ng capacity. So medyo reactive talaga yung stock sa mga ganong disclosures. But ayun, dun if you read our report on the stock, when we valued the stock and when we arrived at the target price of 620, sinama na namin yung target capacity ng company for the whole year. So naka-zoom na talaga kami sa December na factor in na namin tong mga ina-announce na disclosures na to. So na-factor in na namin lahat ng planned additional capacity for the whole year, and yet we just arrived at 620. That's why we think mahal na siya at current levels. Pero we also wrote in one of our recent short takes na the stock might benefit from speculations that it might be included in the Philippine Stock Index. So that if you visit our short takes, you can read there that we think it will replace EMP. That's why maybe the stock is benefiting from that speculation. Kaya siya umakyat.
Alright.
Caveat lang. It's still up in the air kasi yung possible inclusion niya sa index is still dependent on what the closing prices will be at the end of this month. So hindi natin we can predict the future exactly. So it's possible kaya rin siya nagme-maintain, I think, ng strength niya. Kasi nga there's a possibility, there's speculation that it will be, but we will know for sure after this month.
All right. So we are now, this is already 4 o'clock. We have already stretched. I think parang ang magkakaroon tayo ng part 2 nito since ang daming nagtatanong. We appreciate, guys, all your comments, your questions, your suggestions. If there's a trigger, there's an interesting question here. Before we close this, we'll just point blank answer the questions that we can see. May trigger point po ba wherein pwedeng mag-discontinue ang Marge? As far as we know, wala. This is gonna be continuous, and we will remain actually there will be new accounts pa din that will continue to apply for Marge, and we will also add more seminars about basic stock market seminars. So just also be tune in for the upcoming basic stock market, which Marge will be included or be featured. All right. So pag na-suspend yung account, we will not touch that. Yung account mo is just there. You can reinstate it, or kung ayaw mo naman siyang bitawan, it's fine. Ako personally, mas okay yon na wag mo siyang bitawan. If you want to add more to that, by that time, pwede kang mag-email sa funds so you can have it reactivated. Wala naman you can still get it. And wala namang fee dyan if it's below the maintaining balance. Yun nga lang magkakaroon ng suspension or temporary na hindi ka makaka-access. Last, since March po is in our control, can we know po when to accumulate, when dip or take profit on rally? It's part of the playlist. So if it's buy, it's buy. If it's take profits, it's take profits. Again, we want to summarize what happened today. For those who are late, you can replay this particular webinar. You can actually yung slide niyo yung red. So you can see what we have talked about. We will just check the summaries and ayan. Ay, okay, mali. Ayan, for as a summary, sabi ni Marge, be monogamous. Kung si Marge lang. If kailangan itama ang mali, so rectify or correct your portfolio up until July 9. Okay? If you're not sure, check your playlist, check your portfolio. If it's not in the playlist, check if we have recommended it before. If not, you that's when we can sell it or to correct it. You can also transfer it to your regular account. You can open a regular account, and also another newsletter letter will be added to your regular playlist. Apart from the playlist that you receive, there will be another newsletter pertaining to the highlights probably that the market has, including the March stocks. And last but not the least, the new legends where take profits and to stop buying. All right. If you this will be sent to you to your will be part of the new primer since this is starting the month of July. So the next playlist will be on July 9. And with that, we want to thank everyone for participating. I hope that there will be more people that will be joining next time. Thank you. And yun nga, last na mga payo ng mga to, dun sa mga tao na nasa March playlist. Sige, let's continue to motivate one another. Guys, can you give yung mga inputs nyo just so we can say, we can end, before we end this stream. Ayan. Sino,
Mm.
sino simula? Si Herman.
Okay, siguro, ayan, thank you muna for spending time with us this afternoon. And also siguro, I just want to say na keep in mind that the investment horizon for March is 5 years. So that's a long time. And I hope subscribers will not be worried or subscribers should not be bothered so much by the short-term volatility. No? So ayan, long-term tayo dapat mag-isip when we have March. So there.
And also, apart from that, I think a lot of the questions we had this afternoon regarding yung specific recommendations and yung looking at price ranges or target prices, you can see, you can have a more in-depth discussion of each playlist member sa daily short takes namin. You can, if you want to look at the stocks in the playlist not on as long-term vision as March. If you want to take some action, not on a maybe short-term play on your regular account, you can base your decisions on the short takes that we send out every day.
Thank you so much. So,
Nakamute pala ako. All right, so the reason why we're doing this now is because I know there are a lot of traders are thinking about maybe this is the best time to invest because prices are low, or maybe this is the best time to trade because the prices are continually moving. Maybe there are stocks worth holding for a longer period of time, or maybe there are stocks that should I be selling now. Well, my trade wants to allow you to do both, and we want to tell you that become a profitable trader with a safe amount of long-term investment, you must diversify, and you must also be mindful of the strategies that you are making. Plus, separate your portfolio for long-term and give more confidence on the short-term plays. Magkaiba talaga yan, and it's also part of diversifying your risk. And now with Marge and the upcoming Navigator, our clients can maximize the opportunities in the recovering and still growing Philippine market. These, of course, will enough guidance from both our fundamental and technical research analysts. I assure you, if you sign up with MyTrade, for those who are not yet, who doesn't have the regular account yet, we will guide you from step one to the finish line. And again, if you want to open a regular account, separate from your Marge account, just do and click the links that we will be providing below later on in the description of this particular webinar. These links are all just available in those who are with Marge has a Marge playlist. Ayan. So with that, watch out for the launching of the navigator. Don't forget to like our page to get the latest updates. If you are not yet following or subscribing to our channel, make sure that you click the subscribe button and the notification bell, so you'll be notified of the latest live session that we have, and also the videos that we upload. Thank you everyone for attending today's session. I really enjoyed. Don't fight one another. I mean, we cannot please a lot yung all, everyone. We cannot please everyone, so it's okay. We respect all their opinions. Anyway, I love catching up with you, friends, and I think we should do this more often. Do you agree? Yun nga naman yung inyong nire-request. So, comment kayo ng catch up ulit soon. Hashtag catch up ulit soon if you want more of programs like this. Thanks everyone, and be safe and have a great afternoon. Bye!